Hello everyone, welcome to Online Study for You, a complete placement solution. My name is Harshit and I am a software developer. And in this video, we are going to discuss about the roadmap for placement preparations. So as we know, the placement drive for 2023 batch has already been started, but a lot of students are still in confusion about what is the placement procedure, how many rounds of interview they have to undergo, what type of questions are being asked in the interviews and in the online assessments as well. So I've decided to make a complete video on it that will give you a complete roadmap, what are the steps you need to follow for your placements. So without wasting any time, let's go to the roadmap. So as you can see, this big chart that I have made for you. So the first step starts from resume building. So resume is a very important document when you apply for any company. I have seen so many students getting rejected just because of the poor formatting of the resume. This is the thing that you have to keep in mind. Your resume should be very short, crisp, single page resume, especially for freshers, and that should contain all the information. So don't worry, even if you do not have a very good formatted resume. In the very next upcoming video, I'll be sharing a very good format of resume. You can just make small changes in that resume. You can put your information and your resume will be ready. So don't worry about that. But yes, resume building is very important. Your resume should be very good and that will have a great impression on the recruiter. The second step is the LinkedIn profile optimization. So LinkedIn profile optimization is again very important thing because this is the first thing that the recruiter will do once you apply to any company. The recruiter will go to your LinkedIn profile and check your complete software development background or your academic background. So your profile should be 100% complete and updated as well. And I'll tell you few tips and tricks that you have to use to update or optimize your LinkedIn profile to maximize your reach. Even sometimes the recruiters even start contacting you to give interviews to the company, and which is really very amazing. So after resume and LinkedIn profile optimization, the real game starts, of which is online assessment preparation. So online assessments are the written tests that the company takes, and it depends upon the type of company, whether you are giving the test for a service-based company or a product-based company. So service-based company usually ask aptitude questions, verbal questions, pseudocode. Pseudocode is something like you will be given a code and you will be asked whether there is any problem in the code or some line is written in the wrong manner or not. Then you will be given a code snippet and you will be asked the output of it in the MCQ choice questions. And then there can be some basic programming questions. So you don't need to worry about preparing a very high level programming questions. Mostly these kind of companies that are service based companies, they ask simple questions. For example, you can take sometimes they can ask you a error related question. You have to shift an element, you have to insert one element at a particular position, so that all the elements after that element should get shifted. So these kind of basic questions you can easily get on this channel. And then there can be questions about SQL query. Then again, it's a very simple question. I'll give you 5 to 10 SQL query questions, and only those kind of questions are only asked in the interviews also and in the online assessment test also. Then there are product-based companies. So product-based companies mostly focus on data structure questions in their online assessment test. 90% of the questions are data structure questions only, and in the remaining 10%, there can be code snippet output or sometimes core subject questions. Core subjects are like operating system, DBMS, and very rarely they ask computer network question as well. But if you have not studied computer networks, leave it. Very rarely company asks computer network questions. So we have, after clearing the online assessments, you go to your first technical interview. So depending upon the company, there can be one interview round, two, or sometimes even three technical interviews, but you don't have to worry about that. Number of rounds are not going to matter. The preparation will always remain the same for all the rounds. So again, we can see that the interviews I have divided into SBC and PBC, service-based companies and the product-based companies. So service-based companies, you'll go for a technical interview. Again, they'll ask very basic programming questions. I have given almost the interview of almost all the service-based companies, and I was always asked a very basic, very easy kind of questions. For example, I was asked write a factorial program in my Cognizant interview. I was asked about writing a palindromic with to check whether the string is palindrome or not. That was in my Accenture interview. So basic questions will be asked only. Sometimes they can ask little difficult questions, but those questions will also be between easy to medium. Hard questions will not be asked. And then they can ask few things about core subjects, like they can ask about operating system, but the chances are less. They can ask about DBMS. Again, very basic questions. What are joins? What are acid properties? These type of questions only they are going to ask in the interviews. But if we talk about the interviews, technical interviews about the product-based companies, mostly they ask data structure questions. But again, a data structure algorithm question series is going on in this channel. You can refer those questions. Those questions are very good questions, and you'll be able to crack many companies from those questions itself. And then there will be questions from core subjects. Again, DBMS, SQL, operating system, and computer networks. I would suggest if you have never studied computer networks, leave it for as of now, because it's a little complex. I'll not say complex, but if you have never studied, it will be a little difficult for you. And once you clear your technical interview round, then comes your managerial and HR round. Seriously, I have seen so many students, those who clear the online assessment, they clear the technical interviews, and they got stuck in the managerial round because they do not have good communication skills. Please, guys, don't do that. Most of the students get nervous at the time of interview, but I'll be giving you few questions, approximately 15 to 20 questions I'll be giving for managerial and HR round. If you prepare those 15 to 20 questions, I can guarantee you that the interviewer is not going to ask any other question apart from those 15 to 20 set of questions. So you'll be very confident when you'll be giving the questions. And these questions basically checks your confidence, your communication skills, and sometimes your logic skills. They can give you a puzzle kind of a question, or they can give you a situation where no correct or no wrong answer is there. They are just going to check your approach, how you are approaching something. And the same thing applies for product based companies as well. Again, they check your communication skills, logical skills, whether you can apply logic, whether you can approach a certain problem or not. And yes, there is a project discussion as well. They're going to discuss the project which you are going to mention in your resume. So please only mention those projects upon which you have really worked on. Even if you have not worked on a project, at least know the in and outs of the project so that you can be able to answer all the questions that the recruiter is going to ask you. So that sums up everything. So again, the summary of it. First, the resume thing. In the very next video, I'm coming up with the few very good format of the resume. You just have to mention your details there, and your resume will be ready. Single page, crisp resume. Second is your LinkedIn profile optimization, that also I am going to teach you. This is important because your reach will maximize and the recruiter will start contacting you for the interviews. Third is preparation for online assessments. I'll be sharing all the material, all the questions that are being asked in these companies. I can guarantee if you study all those questions, you will be able to crack the online assessments of these companies. But again, for product based companies, there is no sure shot guarantee because there are numerous number of data structure questions, so you have to practice a lot. But for service based companies, definitely you can prepare really very well, and you can be assured that you can crack the online assessment test. And after the technical interviews, I have shared everything about the technical interview, and I'll be giving the link of this complete roadmap so that you can check this roadmap and you can start preparing accordingly. But we are also going to provide all the material, especially the guidance, because material you can get from the channel. There are lots of material already available. I'll be guiding you what to read, how much to read, and how to answer in an interview. That's going to make a good effect. So thank you very much, and please like this video, subscribe to the channel so that whenever I come up with a new video, you get a notification and start preparing. Best of luck.